family, welcome or welcome back to our YouTube channel. I know it's been a while since we uploaded a video, but a lot has been going on, a lot has happened, and I'm back here today alone. I'm usually with my husband in our videos, but today I'm here alone. And I know most of you guys were waiting for this story. Mostly the people on my TikTok were waiting for this story. So I thank God I had time today to give you guys this story. I hope that you guys are buckled up. You guys have your snacks because it's time for my labor story. I'm gonna give you a birth story, how my labor and delivery went. And as you guys know, yes, I got a baby boy, and I know most of you guys don't know his name yet, but I'm gonna tell you guys his name in this video. And I'm just so grateful overall. And in this story, I'm gonna be telling you guys exactly how I felt, exactly how everything was. But overall, I'm grateful and I'm thankful for the outcome of the whole journey. So I don't want you guys to think that I sound so ungrateful. I sound like I'm complaining, I'm nagging. No, but it's just my experience. With all that said, I hope you guys enjoy the video. First thing first, I just want to put it out there. I was pregnant and I didn't get the birth that I wanted because my labor was induced. So I got induced, and this was at week 41, no, 40 plus 5, I think. So I went past my due date, which was something that I did not think, because I thought that I'm gonna give birth at week 37. I was like, my baby's coming out week 37. But no, my baby didn't want to come out. And to get the induction, me and my husband had to go up and down to actually get the hospital to induce me, because in Sweden it's so different with the induction. You just don't get an induction just because you want to. You need to have a medical reason. But my pregnancy had been normal, so nothing, no complications, so the doctors refused to give me an induction. I was exhausted. Like, I had a very huge belly. I felt so uncomfortable. I think to most people that are pregnant, they know how those last weeks feel. So I was so tired of being pregnant, and my husband's family had come over. They came over a week before I gave birth. So they came over so that they can help us in case like they need to drive us to the hospital. But thankfully my husband got his driver's license before I gave birth, so he was able to drive me. But we were prepared with family. So my husband's family was here a week before, because we were like, the baby's gonna come out soon, it's gonna come out early. But no, that was not the case. Like, we had to call the hospital because I had been going in and out of the hospital all the time. But they never took me seriously. They were like, I mean, you're fine. The baby's fine. So you should just go home. And mind you guys, I don't know if it's called lent labor, something like that. I had false labor for a week prior to me giving birth. I had gotten like cramps, contractions every single day. I didn't have rest. Like, from the time that I wake up until I sleep, I mean, just contractions. But nothing was improving. It wasn't getting better. So basically, I started planning. I started telling my mom, I want to get induced. But I never wanted to get induced. In my life, I'm afraid of needles. So I was like, induction means a lot of injections. That rhymes. So I was like, I will never get induced in my life. My sister got induced. And I heard just horrible stories about induction. Like, oh God, it hurts. The IV hurts. This hurts. So I was like, my baby's coming out. But my baby didn't want to come out. I didn't have a choice. I, at that point, wanted to get induced. So 2 days before my induction, I went in the hospital. I was like, I'm having pain, like my contractions, and I've been timing them, but my contractions were like 10 minutes apart. So they were like, you're not in active labor, you can go back home. And they wanted to stop my pain. They wanted to stop it. I was like, no, you're not gonna stop my pain. I want this baby out of me, like right now, like literally right now. But they were like, we cannot do anything. You should just go home and take the contractions, come back if they get tighter and closer. And they checked my cervix. Everybody was saying cervical checks are hurtful, cervical, but they were not that bad. But they checked me. I was just like, I was hoping. I was so determined. I was like, I know that I'm like I'm 5 centimeters dilated. I went in, they checked me. I was 1 centimeter dilated. Week 40 plus 3, I think, at this point. Week 40 plus 3, 1 cent. I was like, my body's joking. I have been walking, dancing, moving to get this baby out of me. Nothing was making me dilate. And I was over it. I was so tired, really, really tired. And I was just like, I want this baby out, but they sent me home. The next day again, I was home with my husband's parents. So they were like, the mom was mostly like, can we do something? Can they at least induce you this? I was at this point, I was convinced that I'm gonna get induced, and I agreed to the induction. But the hospital, since I got pregnant, my midwives and everybody that have been writing in my journal, if that's what it's called in English, journal in Swedish, that I'm afraid of injections. So everybody knows at this point that I'm afraid of injections. So when I went in the hospital, they were like, I asked them, how about an induction? They were like, we don't really give out an induction. We need to talk to a doctor. You need to. It was a long process. They were taking me so long, but I'm just like, I'm exhausted. I can't get out of bed. Waking up hurts me. Sleeping hurts me. Breathing hurts me. Eating hurts me. Hunger hurts me. Everything hurts me. And I'm mentally getting disturbed now. I told them that. In my head, like, I started being emotional every night. I was like, I want this baby out. I'm gonna be pregnant forever. It started affecting my mental health. But then the day before I got my induction, I went in again, and then they were like, okay, tomorrow we've booked your time to talk to a doctor. To talk to a doctor and see the possibility of you getting induced. So me and my husband went home. We started planning every single lie to tell them, like, we need to tell them this. We need to tell them you need to go back to work. We need to tell them that I can't breathe. I can't leave. Exaggerating so that we can get the induction going, just to get the baby out. Mom had called me. She was like, Jemima, if those people don't take you in for an induction, you come here in my city, in my town, I don't know what, come here, and then we'll go to the hospital together. Me, myself, I'm going to take you. We need to go get the baby out, because now this has gone so far. The days are just like, nothing is progressing. So I was like, Mom, I'm gonna go. So that day we called the hospital, and then they're like, tomorrow come in. I was like, okay, tomorrow I'm sure they're gonna induce me, because I'm gonna lie, I'm gonna tell them a lot of things. And my blood pressure was a little bit higher, so I was like, they're gonna induce me. So we went in, we came in, we met the doctor, and then the doctor actually was ready. I was ready to just like cry to get the doctor to give me the induction. But the doctor told me, do you know what? If you want an induction, we can actually do it. I was like, I didn't need to speak. And then she was like, and we have a room today, so you can actually do it today. I was like, what? Are you joking? I don't have to do anything. I don't have to talk. But then she was like, but I know you're afraid of injections and needles and everything, but an induction requires you to have an IV. And then she was like, what do you think about that? And I was like, anything to get the baby out. If I know it's the process that's gonna get my baby out, I'm gonna endure the pain. I can take it just to get my baby out. She was like, okay, no problem. Maybe we can do that, but we're gonna check on baby first. I was so happy. I was like, today I'm gonna meet my baby. I might meet my baby today. And I told her it's good, because my mom also got an induction and did, like, after some hours she gave birth. She was like, I don't think it's gonna go so fast, because the induction plan can take up to 6 days. I was like, it's okay, I'm fine, I'm ready. Like, I just want the baby out. I didn't know what I'm getting myself into. I just knew I'm gonna meet my baby. But they checked the baby. Thankfully, I came in that day, because my baby had started drinking the water. And he didn't have enough water in the stomach anymore. He needed to be out the same day. So I was like, oh, thank God I didn't. If you don't disturb these people at the hospital, they can actually cause you to lose your baby, because my baby didn't have a lot of water inside there, and they need water to live. So I was like, oh, thank God. And then they prepared my room. They explained to me the process. You're first gonna take medication. After the medication, if it doesn't work, you're gonna take 6 of them, and every day pill you need to take it after 2 hours. And we're gonna see the progress. If you don't progress so fast, we move on to maybe putting in a balloon. If the balloon doesn't progress, we move on maybe to now giving you the drops to speed up the process. So I was like, it's okay. And they said that's why it can take like days for you to give birth. I was like, it's fine. So we went in. I was so happy. We had packed everything. Everything was in the car. So I just told my husband to go in the car and bring every single thing, because now we're staying and we're gonna meet our baby. This was on the 31st of September, because my baby was a September baby, but he didn't want to be born in September. But my husband bought in stuff. I was dancing. I was gonna start vlogging for you guys, but I couldn't, because I was like, let me just wait a little bit, enjoy. And then the doctor came in, the nurse came in, and she was like, we need to put an IV. I was like, oh no. She was like, I know, we cannot start the process of inducing you without the IV. We need the IV. I was like, oh no. I took time there going back and forth with the nurse, but I accepted it. I got an IV in my hand. I think it was this one. It wasn't that bad, but it was bad. Considering the fact that I'm afraid of injections, it was bad. So I took it like a champ, and then my hand started getting numb, and I was like, okay. And then I was like, I'm hungry. And they told me, you can go outside, but then you need to come back in 2 hours. So I take the, and then they gave me the pill then and there, and then they told me to take another one after 2 hours. So I was like, okay. I came back. We went out, my husband, to eat food, to get ready. And then I came back. They gave me the second medication at 6 p.m. I think 6 p.m. And then they were like, we should wait for next 2 hours to give you the next dose, but get some rest, sleep. I was like, okay. After 2 hours again, she came back in to give me the third medication. That's where everything went kapoosh. Like everything, I started experiencing, I don't know what you can call it, but the contractions started. Like I had some contractions prior to this, but they were not as painful. Like I could take them, and I was like, if this is a contraction, I can take it, because you can see a contraction on your stomach. I was like, I can take it. I don't need the epidural. I didn't know what I was saying. As soon as she came in the room to give me the third medication, I got the contraction, a real contraction. I broke down. Like I lost balance in my legs. I just went to, my husband needed to like carry me, because I was like, oh no, I'm in pain. And then she was like, oh, it has started kicking in already that soon. That's good. That means your body's doing the right thing. By my head, I'm just like, shut up, because I just need to breathe, because that contraction hit me. It knocked me off. And then she was like, I think we should wait with the third medication, because now the contractions were coming after 5 minutes. She was like, I think we should wait with the third one. Let's see how it progresses and everything. She went outside for like some minutes. She came back when now my contractions are too much. I can't take it. I was just like, I can't take it. I can't take it anymore. And oh God, I was dying. And I cannot believe that I actually took those first contractions. Like some hours I could take them. And then we went in, and she was like, do you want maybe to go in the bath? It sometimes help. I was like, please, anything. And then they went to prepare the bath. Like it took a little bit of a while. But then she finally came, and she was like, your birth is ready. I was like, thank God. I went in the bath, right, in the room. They put for me these lights, my lights, like these are my habibis. They put for me the lights in the bathroom, and then the bathtub was filled luxurious. It was luxurious. But at that point, I didn't think of how luxurious it was. I was dying inside. The contractions were killing me. I don't even know how to explain the contractions, and we're not gonna lie, I don't even remember the pain, but I just know that they hurt. At that point, when I was in that room, in that bathroom, I wanted to be a toilet. I wanted to become a bathtub. I wanted to become a doorknob. I didn't want to be myself. No. And to think of the process that I'm going to go in, I felt so weak. I couldn't take it. I was like, I want my mom. I went in the bathtub. It was good in the beginning, and then I started listening to my sister's music, our song. I started singing when I'm like, yeah, maybe I can take them. I'm breathing very well. I had a very good breathing technique, and I'm breathing very well. But after like I think 20 minutes, I was like, no, I can't take this. I need the epidural right now. I need the epidural right now. So I ring the. Why am I speaking Swedish? I called in on the alarm. I pressed the thing, the button, and she came in. She was like, "How's it going?" I was like, "I need the epidural right now." And I was like, "How soon can you get it?" She was like, "You can get it even now." I was like, "I need the epidural right now." Like I couldn't even breathe. I couldn't breathe. It was so horrible. I couldn't breathe. I hated everything. I just wanted the baby out. I'm in pain. I came out of the shower. They were like, "We've prepared a room for you now. The room that I'm gonna give birth to. We prepared a room for you. You can go in there." And I was like, when is the epidural coming? That's the only thing I was just asking. When is the epidural coming? When is it coming? I came in the room. They put the monitor on me to monitor the baby, and they checked my cervix to see if I've dilated. Thankfully, I had. I had dilated from a 2 to a 3, like in an hour or some minutes, I think. And they were like, "Okay, your body is progressing now. You can get the epidural." I was like, when is he coming? They were like, "He's on his way. He's so fast." I was like, "Tell him to run." That's literally what I was. And that's how I was talking. Tell him to run up with the epidural right now. I can't take it. I'm going to die. But no, you're not going to die. I was like, I'm going to die. I want the epidural right now. Like, that's the only thing I was thinking of. But I couldn't think of the fact that an epidural is gonna hurt. I didn't remember the stories that people were talking about the epidural. It can make you numb. It can paralyze you. I didn't think all that. I just wanted the epidural. I just didn't want to feel what I'm feeling. I was tired and I was in pain. I wasn't crying, but I was screaming. Not screaming yet. So he came in. He was so nice. He was talking to me, but I wasn't listening. He explained to me everything, but I wasn't listening. I was like, okay, can we hurry up? And he told me, I want you to be very still when I'm putting in the epidural, but when you get a contraction, tell me so that I can wait. I was like, okay. He was like, communication is key. I need you to communicate with me. I'm going to be communicating with you. You communicate with me. I was like, okay, I'm going to talk to you. But I'm dying. I'm on the edge of the bed. I'm like, ugh. They told me to sit like this to fix my back with those contractions. When he was going to start, I was like, hold up, I'm going to contract. He was like, okay, take it. I breathed to it. It lasted like a minute. And I was like, okay, now I'm done. And then I waited. And then he's doing the epidural. I get a contraction. I'm like, no, wait, I'm gonna go. He like yelled at me. He was like, no, I want you to be still right now. You're gonna hurt yourself. Be still right now, even if you have a contraction. I was like, oh no. And I was like, okay, I can take it. And then I started breathing through that contraction, but it was painful. So I didn't actually feel the pain of the epidural, not gonna lie. Okay, yes, it did hurt a little bit whereby like I moved my back when the needle was going in my spine. Like I did like this. It was like, I want you to be still. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be still. But I was like, oh my god, hurry up. But he didn't take time. I think it took like 5 minutes and my epidural was done. And then he was like, oh, can you move your legs? I could move my legs. Thank god it was successful. I thought he was gonna be like, oh no, we need to redo it. I was like, no. But then they told me it's gonna take 20 minutes to feel the effect of the epidural. I was like, no, am I gonna feel this contraction for 20 more minutes? 20 more minutes? They were like, yes, you're gonna slowly by slowly, they need to start, like, the pain needs to start going down. I was like, the only thing that I thought of, 20 minutes without the epidural working, I'm gonna die. But then it went fast, not gonna lie, it went fast. And then slowly by slowly, the pain started fading away. I was like, oh, I'm feeling great. But I could feel like I'm having a contraction. The only thing that I felt was the pressure down there, like the pressure of the baby. But I didn't feel the pain. And I was like, thank you, God. I think I have a video of after me getting the epidural. I was drinking yogurt. I was fine. I was talking to my husband. I was on the phone with my mom. I was like, I'm feeling great. But before that, I was on the phone. I was like, whoo, whoo. That's how I was breathing. My mom was even afraid of being on the call with me. She was so afraid. And I was just like, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. That was the only thing I was saying. I'm gonna die. When I was having those contractions, I think I saw my dead grandma. I think I was together with my grandma at that point. I think I died for some seconds and then came back again to life. Because I don't think a human being can survive that type of pain. Oh my Lord, have mercy. You can actually feel like this is a punishment. You understand that this is a punishment from God. It shouldn't be enjoyable. It was not enjoyable at all. I rested, and then I was dilating so fast. I went from a 3 to a 7 in like 30 minutes. After they broke my water, they needed to break my water, but nothing came out because my baby had drunk everything. Everything was just in his stomach. And so I waited, I was just there. But after a while, when I was dilated to a 10, because I dilated to a 10 very fast, after a while, I got the epidural shakes. I don't know what they call them, but I started shivering. My whole body, started shivering. Like, I don't even know how to say it. I was freezing. I don't know if I was freezing, but I started shaking. These people wanted me to go and pee to see if I can still control my bladder. But as soon as I stood up from the bed, like, there's a feeling that I got. I'm shaking, mind you. I'm shaking, but there's a feeling that I got of hatred. I hated everything. I hated myself. I hated, God forgive me, the kid inside of me. I hated my husband. I hated the hospital. I hated my feet. I hated the ground. I hated everything. So I was going in the bathroom when I'm just like, I don't want to talk to my husband because I'm like filled with so much hatred and disgust. Yes, that's the word. I felt disgusted, not hatred, disgusted of everything. Disgusted over the fact that here, Jemima, that's my name. All the time I thought of my name, I just felt like I wanna throw up. So I just went to the bathroom, but I'm just like so weak. I'm already in a 10, but I'm not feeling the urge of pushing. Because they told me I'm gonna start pushing when I feel the urge of pushing, but I didn't feel the urge of pushing because I was dilated to a 10 and I needed to wait for some hours to start actually pushing because my body didn't do it naturally. So after that, I was walking, I came back, the shakes got so worse. I got in bed, but I'm shaking like so bad. It was so, I don't even want to remember that feeling. It was so horrible. Those shakes were so horrible. I hated that time. I shaked, I think, for like an hour. They brought in warm stuff. My mom told me to drink tea. I took tea, like maybe like 4 cups of tea. But as soon as I did that, I threw up everything, like in a very big amount of a portion. So I was throwing up a lot all the time. I took something warm, throw up. They bought for me a warm blanket, a heater, everything to just help me to cool down with the fever. They put medication in my IV. I was still shaking, but they were like, you're not gonna stop pushing until you're fine. Everything is going fine. But my blood pressure was high, but it was so horrible. It was really horrible. After that, they waited and then it disappeared. I slept. I think, I don't know, I dozed off. I slept for like 2 hours. I needed that energy to actually push because pushing takes time. Pushing takes energy. I respect mothers. I respect all mothers because, oh my God, what I passed through. No, thank you. After that, they told me, okay, now it's time to push because the baby's head is there. I was like, what? Time to push. I was so scared, but I didn't push on my back. I tried the position of standing on my legs or like kneeling on my legs, and it was helping, but it didn't move my baby fast. So, and they saw that I'm getting tired. They were like, okay, well, let's try something else. I was like, anything else, but I don't want to sleep on my back. So I did the side. I pushed my baby out on the side. Oh my God, nothing was moving. The baby's head was there. And I promised myself that I'm not going to scream. I was like, I'm not going to scream. So I was like, I'm pushing out. You feel the baby's head coming out. but then the baby's head goes back inside. That's when I lost it. I've been pushing for some minutes. My baby's head, I feel it, it's out there, but then it goes back. And then I'm like, oh no, it's back. They were like, no, it's not back. But I'm like, you guys are playing with me. You guys are lying to me, because I felt my baby's head go back. But they didn't want to tell me that because it was going to discourage me and I was not going to push. So when the head went back, I was like, I lost it. I started screaming. I was like, I'm gonna die. Get this baby out of me. Like, I was just screaming on top of my lungs. And I was like, I'm sorry that I'm screaming. When the contractions goes down, I'm sorry that I'm screaming. They're like, no, it's okay. And then when another one hits me, I scream. But mind you, I have the epidural. But then they had to remove it so that I can feel the pain, so I can push. Because I was pushing when I'm like Jerry's, I'm not feeling anything, just the pressure. But then they were like, we need to remove the epidural a little bit so that you can actually push. They removed it. I felt the contractions again. I was dying. Now I started just screaming on top of my lungs. I started screaming for my mother. I want my mother. I was looking outside the window and I'm seeing people walk and I'm like, I want to go home. I want to go home. And I'm like, am I ever going to come out of this? I cannot say I want to go. I cannot say I want to stop this. I was in so much pain. Pushing out that baby hurt so bad. I don't even know if I'm literally giving it justice, giving the pain justice when I say it hurts so bad. But it hurts so bad, to the point that I'm afraid of going back in that labor room. I don't know when I'm going to go back in that labor room. Not anytime soon. No. And then I started screaming. The baby's head was there. I'm pushing. I'm not feeling anything happen. I'm not feeling the process. The process is not going so fast. I'm pushing. The baby's not coming out. I'm so tired. I'm so exhausted. I just want the baby out of me. And then I started screaming, Mom. I was yelling my mom. My mom ran away. My mom, through the whole night, she was on the phone with me, praying, reading the Bible. But as soon as it was time to push, now this was the day after, on the 1st, in the morning, because my baby came at 8 in the morning. So I started pushing. My mom left the call because she doesn't like seeing her baby's in pain. So she left the phone. She went and she was like, I'm going to go pray. I was like, okay, Mom. I was screaming. I was just like, God help me. Many nurses came in. The baby's not coming. They were like, you're soon there. When you see us pick up a phone to call, that means your process is soon done. So you're done. I wasn't even thinking of who's calling, who's there. No, I just wanted the baby out. And I saw the scissors on the table. So I was like, I want them to cut me. You know, I don't know what it's called. The thing is so hard to pronounce. But I wanted them to cut me so that the baby can come out, because I was so tired. I was in so much pain. At that point, I didn't care whether I tore, whether I didn't. I just wanted the baby out. I wanted to feel myself. The pressure I felt in the middle of my legs. The pressure I felt in the middle of my legs. Oh, God, have mercy. It made me not even want to have any intercourse anymore, to make me go back in labor, because I was like, no. Ain't no way I enjoyed the process of making this baby. That's what I was thinking. And I'm just like, God help me. I'm screaming, nothing is happening. And then something happened. I started feeling my baby's head come out. That's how I can actually explain. The head is coming out like this, right? Mama, no. The pain, the hair, because my baby was so hairy. And I remember when they say, I can see the head, I was like, does he have hair? And then I asked, is he bald? They were like, no, he has a lot of hair. I was like, which color is he? Ginger? Because I was so afraid of my baby coming out ginger. I don't know why. But the head was coming out. The hair burnt me. So the burning sense, I don't know if I'm even giving this story justice. The burning sensation I had when the head was coming out like this. I just felt like, I'm not going to do this. I think that's how I tore. I had a 3rd-degree tear, but everything was inside, not outside. I didn't get stitched outside, nothing. Everything was inside. My 3rd-degree tear was inside. So when that baby was coming out, I think I was pushing my baby even if I didn't have a contraction, because I wanted him out. because the nurses told me, don't push unless we tell you. I was like, okay, but I knew I'm not gonna listen. I knew that I'm gonna push this baby because I was now panicking. I was panicking. I just wanted the baby out of me. The head started tilting outside of me. I was in so much pain. I just screamed. I screamed. And then after that, oh God, I just pushed. I just did one big push because every push they were like, this is the last one and he's out. This is the last one and he's out. No, they're lying. They were lying to me and I was like, stop lying to me. Stop. I was yelling at them at that point. I was yelling at everybody. My husband was just pulling him. I wanted him to be so still, but I was just pulling him so hard to get pain, like that feeling to push. I was pulling him so bad. And I was just like, God, I want to go back home. I don't know who brought me here. That was just going on in my mind. And I'm not focusing on pushing my baby. After that, the baby, as soon as the head came out, the whole baby just flew out on me. I thank God they didn't have to adjust his shoulders. No. As soon as the head came out, he just flew out of me. And I remember just, like, I just felt a lot of relief. Like, God. After that, I just heard the baby crying. And then they put him, like, straight on my chest. And I was like, oh my God, I'm done. I didn't cry. I thought I was gonna cry, but I didn't cry. But I was like, I'm done. I didn't feel any pain. The pain of the contraction, gone. The pain of the pressure, gone. Everything just disappeared. I just felt normal. I was like, oh, until the placenta needed to come out. Oh my God. They never warned me that a placenta is like pushing out another baby. And mind you, I didn't have the strength to push. I think it's because I tore very, very big that I couldn't push out the baby, like the placenta, because I couldn't push. I didn't feel myself pushing anymore. I couldn't push out the placenta. They needed to force it out. So they inserted like medication in my IV to get the placenta out, to like out of me. So, and then they started pushing on my stomach. Oh my God, the fender massage, I think they call it fender massage in English. When they're pressing on your belly, I thought those people wanted to kill me. I was like, I'm black, they're white, they want to kill me, and I'm young. These people, they don't usually like young people giving birth. I think they want to kill me. They were pressing so hard on my stomach. I'm like, I just gave birth. They wanted it out. And then I think after some time they pressed so much on my stomach, and I tried to push a little bit, and the placenta came out, but it hurt. The placenta hurt. When it came out, it hurt. So I was like, boo, the placenta came out, and I just felt so relieved when now the placenta is out as well. But they were not done with me. No, they continued pressing on my belly as if I hurt them, or as if the husband cheated on them with me. I don't know. There's so much hatred they had when they're pressing on your stomach. Oh my God. And that happened like for an hour, because they need to get every blood out of you to make sure that your uterus has shrunk down back to its place. They pressed so hard. I felt like I'm gonna die. Mind you, I had my baby on me. After that, thank God. And then they were like, we're gonna give you some time to bond with the baby. We're gonna come back inside after a while. I was like, okay. And then I was like, I didn't tear. They didn't tell me anything about tearing. After like maybe an hour, they came back inside. Like, okay, now we're gonna check if you had any tear. I was like, oh no. They were like, it's okay, just hold your baby. We're gonna just be feeling down there to see if everything is fine. Oh my God, so painful. It was so painful. I think I didn't feel anything because my epidural now was stopped, so I felt every single thing. Now they were like, we need to put injection to numb you down there in order for us to feel if you tore, because we cannot see anything, but we need to check inside you. I was like, how are you going to numb me exactly? They're like, we need to inject both of your lips. I was like, what? Injection? No. I had to argue with them. Mind you, throughout my whole process, they were taking blood all the time. But all the time they came to take my blood, we had to argue first. We had to go back and forth. I had to tell them, no, I'm gonna die. You're taking so much blood from me, I'm gonna die you know. But then they were like, we need to do it, we need to actually do it, we need to check you, we need to do everything. I was like, okay, do it. And then they were like, they're gonna do it once. I was like, no, do it at the same time. So both of two nurses took the injections. They put them. Oh my god, I remember just squeezing my baby. I felt so bad for my baby. I squeezed him because it was so painful. But then they're like, okay, now we've numbed you. We're gonna feel. They felt everything, and then they were like, we need to talk to a doctor. And then I was like, maybe it wasn't that bad, you know, maybe it wasn't that bad. We need to see if we're gonna stitch you, or maybe the doctor is gonna do it, or you're gonna go for an operation. I was like, operation? I just want to be with my baby and my husband. That's it. No, my journey wasn't finished. They called the doctor and they were like, yeah, you're gonna go in for an operation. I was like, what is happening? I was so tired. I didn't sleep. Like, I hadn't slept since the day before, you know. I didn't sleep. I'm just from pushing. I'm so exhausted. And then I didn't even know how much I tore, because they didn't tell me. They just took me to the theater, to the doctor, to stitch me. And I remember coming in. I was just on the bed laying there. They're just taking me. I remember coming in the theater for them to stitch me up. The doctor was talking to me, and I was like, I'm so tired. And then thankfully I had the epidural, so they need to put in the medication to numb the whole down body to stitch me, because it was that serious. And my stitches, since I tore inside, it was so different. So they numbed me. I was like, can I sleep? They were like, yes, you can sleep. They needed to put another IV in my arm, because this one was not working apparently. I lost it. I was like, no. I didn't even have enough energy to argue with them at that point. I was like, sure, do it. And she did it once. She was like, oh, sorry. She did it here. And she was like, oh, you see, this is what happens when we hit the thing and then it goes outside. The blood shell, what's it called? The vein. Oh, thank God. The vein spricker, den går sönder. What is it in English? It breaks. Guys, my English has disappeared. The vein, also, it pops. So my blood, I could see that now I'm getting blood inside. And she was like, that's what happens. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, why are you telling me your mistake, woman? This thing is hurting me. I didn't even have the energy to cry, to yell at her. No. She was like, yeah, that's what happens. But don't worry, I'm going to take it somewhere else. I was like, what? She was like, yeah, this one failed, you know. So I was like, oh, God. So I just gave her my hand. I'm just thinking of my baby. I just want to see my baby. I didn't even see him. And I'm like, has he eaten? And then they put another IV here. So painful. They put in medication. They numbed me. And then they started stitching me. But I wasn't feeling anything. I was just like sleeping. I wanted to just sleep. It took some hours. My mom was so worried. My mom was calling my husband, where's Jemima? And then she heard, oh, Jemima is gonna go to the theater to get stitched up like the doctor. She was so afraid. Like, as soon as she heard that, she was so afraid. And I was like, oh God. And then after an hour and 30 minutes, they let me go, but they didn't take me to my baby. They took me to a recovery room with a lot of patients that are there. They had surgery. I'm just laying there. They needed to check my blood pressure because it was high and concerning. So it was so high after I've given birth. And they monitored it closely, like every 20 minutes. They were coming to check it, 20 minutes coming to check it. And then they told me I'm not going to leave that room until I can start moving my legs. I could not move my legs. I couldn't feel anything. And I'm just like, okay. They gave me a catheter. That's what it's called in English. Painful. A catheter that was so painful. I was like, oh God, oh God. But thankfully, I didn't feel it because I was numb. And I was like, okay, the stitches don't hurt. You know, when I started getting back my motions in my legs, I was like, they don't hurt. Kumbe, I was still numb. And then I was like, okay, the catheter doesn't hurt that bad too. And then we went in now. Everything was done. I went and met my husband, my baby. I spoke to my family. Everybody was so happy. We were grateful to God. I came out of the labor room alive. My baby was so healthy. He was really healthy. He was like 3.8 kgs, like nearly 4 kilograms. And then everything was so good. He was perfect. I thank God, he was so perfect. And then he didn't look like me, and I accepted it. I don't want to hear it though. And then after that, we went in now to the beer. I don't know what it's called, because I needed to stay at the hospital not for so long, but I stayed there for 2 nights. I wanted to go back home that same day, but I couldn't because they needed to run tests on my baby. And considering the fact that I had a 3rd-degree tear, they need to monitor if I can control my bowel and my I don't remember. I could control just everything, you know, that I could pee on my own and empty the bladder. Yeah, I could empty the bladder, everything without any help. So that's what they monitored. That's why we stayed in the hospital for 2 nights. But everything was perfect. My baby was good. And yeah, time to remove the catheter, right? Because I couldn't pee on my own. So I needed a catheter to help me move my pee and everything. And that's my nephew. They're out there. But then after that, after they did that, I was able to, you know, get the catheter. They were able to get it out, but it was so painful because at night I needed to sleep with my baby because my baby was crying in the crib. But I told my husband, bring him to me. I needed to sleep with him. So my baby slept to my arm. But it was so uncomfortable because of the catheter. It was so painful. So I told them, can they remove it? The removing process of the catheter was so painful. And I was screaming. I was like, oh my God. They came in at 6 to get it out. But to remove the catheter hurt like crazy. So they needed to first remove the water because they put it in, they put a balloon that holds it so it doesn't fall. So they need to break that balloon. They broke the balloon, that hurt itself. And they need to pull it out. Mom, yeah, the pain. I was just like, I want to go home. I hate hospitals. I want to go home. And then they removed it, thankfully. But then time to walk. Time to walk. That's when I started feeling the fact that, oh my God, I'm stitched up. I just had a baby. I couldn't walk. I needed to use this thing to walk. But they needed to make sure that I could walk without it. So I was like, oh God. So I started walking, but I couldn't. But then I just pretended to be strong so that they can just get out of the room. Those people, they don't let you rest. Every single time they come in, they need to check, is baby fine? Have you eaten? How are this? My appetite just disappeared. I didn't want food. I didn't want anything. They come in with medication. They come in, they want to take blood. They want to. I was just like, I want to go home. I couldn't even sleep. I didn't even sleep. I don't even think I have slept fully since I've given birth. It's been a month now. But I don't think I've slept fully. But I thank God I'm recovering so well. My recovery process has been so smooth. It was a little bit hard to sit, walk in the beginning, but now everything is so fine. And the other problem that I had, breastfeeding. I didn't know how you can breastfeed a baby. It was so hard. And for me, I wanted my baby to eat to be satisfied. But you know, when the newborn, the stomach is so little. But then for me, I was like, my baby's hungry. All the time my baby was crying, he's hungry. But then they were like, no, he has eaten. And I could pump out milk to remove my milk. And then it was so little. So let me show you. You know, the milk that came out, because in the beginning you don't have a lot of milk until like 5 days. That's when the body understands that start bringing milk. That's the amount of milk that came out. And then told me that's gonna last him a whole day. I looked at my husband, I was like, these people want to starve my kid. And I was like, no, give me formula, my kid needs to eat. Because I was so worried. I didn't listen to the nurse. They were like, no, he doesn't need a lot of food, that's enough. But I didn't believe in them until, thank God, they cleared me. They checked the baby. The doctor came to check the baby's heart, the baby's everything was perfect. We were free to go back home. Like the happiest day of my life. Like when they told me you can go back home anytime, I was like, what? I was so excited. And I thank God we went home the same day. Our family members were waiting for us. They were waiting for us so much. And everybody was just excited to see the baby. And I was just so excited to come out of labor and you guys to, you know, see my baby and you guys finding out the name of the baby. So I was just like, finally, I'm going to be able to speak about my baby without just saying my baby, but I can say his name. And I know his name is gonna be complicated because it's so unique. I've never heard anybody have this name, but it's biblical. And his name is Benaiah, and I think I can put it up there for you guys. My baby's name is Benaiah. So we used to call him Miracle. I think some of you guys know it. We used to call him Miracle, Miracle, Miracle all the time because we didn't know his gender yet, and we didn't want to say that, so we called the baby Miracle. So his name, since he got his dad's last name, his full name is Benaiah Miracle Johannesson. I don't know it in English. Johnson. Benaiah Miracle Johnson. That's his name. And I'm really happy and blessed. I'm sorry you guys didn't get to see him in this video. I was gonna bring him, but I know how my baby is. He's gonna literally start crying. So that's why it was good that his dad take him. But you guys are gonna see him, and that most of you guys have seen him. I'm gonna be filming a lot of videos for you guys because my birth story was insane. But you guys are gonna now see motherhood, how it feels like to be a mother at 20, how life has changed ever since I gave birth, what's the difference. Every single thing I'm gonna be discussing it. Just ask questions and we shall answer them. I will answer them most of the time. And I think that was it for the video. It was a long story, and I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I hope that you guys really liked it, and we shall see you guys again in another video. I'm so exhausted just from talking. I'm so exhausted. And so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed, and see you guys in the next, no, not next week's video, see you guys in the next video. And most of you guys that follow me on TikTok, see you guys on TikTok. Bye.